welcome back to another episode of Midnight Mist.
Last episode, we talked about horror movies based off of true stories, including Conjuring and Annabelle.
In today's episode, we'll be talking about two unsolved murder cases.
Including those of the Zodiac Killer and the Boy in the Box. Trigger warning, everyone. Topics talked about in today's episode will be very gruesome, so viewer discretion is advised. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. Alright, let's get started with our first topic.
Our first topic is the Zodiac Killer.
Yes, the infamous Zodiac Killer was a killer who would kill people and he would write codes. Like codes for the police to try to find him. He was very deviant.
Oh, no, late 1960s and early 70s.
Yeah, so basically the years he killed were from 1968 to 1969.
69,
so
yeah.
A very long time ago. Hopefully he's still not alive.
2 years.
Yes, definitely. He was very dangerous. I wouldn't recommend living when he was alive because you were in danger of getting killed by him because he was very sneaky.
Why wouldn't you recommend living when he was alive? Because recommending, it's not your choice.
I know, but personally,
I mean, there was some
he was
people.
very dangerous. He was a very dangerous killer. You don't want to be alive when he was alive?
Yeah, but there was people alive, so it's offensive to them.
No, I mean now. If you want to go back in time, I wouldn't recommend going back to those years when he killed.
Okay.
You would want to go back to that time?
Yeah, sure.
So, if someone asks if you want to go back in time, you want to go back to when he was alive and killed.
Yes.
Okay. Let's not talk about that anymore. Let's talk about his first murder, which was in 1968.
Yeah, he first murdered a couple. I think in their car. Was it?
Was it in their car? I don't believe so. Oh, no, I think it was in their car, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, if I was in my car, you really at least expect it. And we don't know what they were doing in that car when it happened, you know? He probably snuck up on them. Or maybe he was in the back seat when... You never know. You know how in those horror movies... How would he be in the back
seat?
You know how in those movies...
If a couple is in their car, wouldn't they lock their doors?
Yes, but you know in the movies when... They go in the car and
you're talking about those sneak attacks? No.
Yeah.
Those.
But how do you think he did it? Because it's not really a lot of
information
on how he did it.
I think he broke the window and pulled someone, dragged them out of the car.
And do you think that the boyfriend came to help her?
I think so.
And
but I think he was screaming though.
And obviously he was a very strong man if he can take on two people at once. We don't know what the murder weapon was. We don't know if it was a gun. We don't know if it was a knife. But unfortunately, both of them died and didn't survive. And he actually leaves codes, like we said in the beginning, come find me, try to figure out my name, and
fun fact is that they hadn't deciphered his code until 50-something years later.
Yes,
his code was mathematicians could not figure it out. They thought it was useless.
Yeah, because back then they didn't really have good technology. So now, if someone writes a note, you can get fingerprints off of it. But back then,
what did one of the codes say?
One of the codes. Oh God, what were the codes? The codes are like I said, it was come find me.
One of his codes that they deciphered, he said that he enjoyed killing and it's a Zodiac Killer and all of that.
Yes, he enjoyed killing and he made sure to let it know in his codes. He was taunting the police because he knew that they would never be able to find him. And unfortunately, the codes, as Inta said, weren't deciphered until 50 years later. But let's get on to his second murder, which happened, what was it, a year later?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was active for only 2 years. So it happened a year later.
Yeah, he only had 2 kills, which is crazy, right?
No.
No, he probably had more.
That. Yeah,
he probably had more, but, it happened a long time ago, so those records are probably lost.
You see, when you have only 2 kills, you're not considered a serial killer in my book. You're considered homicide.
I would say at least 10 people you're considered a serial killer. Anything below that, well, it's still not right anyway to kill 1 or 2 people.
I don't get why his name is the Zodiac Killer, though.
I don't know, actually. The Zodiac Killer.
I don't get why.
I think that's what they named him years later. Or did he give himself that name?
I think he self-named,
that's what he
No, he self-named because in one of the codes that they deciphered, they said, the Zodiac Killer, and I quote.
True. But yes, in his second murder, again, it was another couple, but only the male survived it. And he recounted that a man basically came with a knife at them and tried to attack them. And I'm guessing he tried to protect his girlfriend, and unfortunately, his girlfriend died, but he ended up coming out unscathed. He ended up surviving the attack, and he explained to the police, but of course, without any evidence of who it was, he probably protected his face and wore clothing he
protect his face.
You never know. Some murderers enjoy letting their victims see their face. But he's probably most likely covered, and unfortunately, the case was never solved. But yes, the Zodiac Killer is very infamous. If you want any more information, you can search him up, and you can find out even more murders. But today we're just talking about those two. All right, let's get on to our next topic.
Our next topic is the boy in the box. Now, this is a very sad story.
Yes. Yes.
I have no idea how someone can like chop someone up and put him in a box.
Yeah, so basically, they say that he's they call him the unknown child because they didn't find out his name until many decades later, unfortunately. He was 4 years old.
Yeah. There was actually a similar story of this. I actually know a similar story to this. So her husband chopped her up just like this and put her in like one of those shipping containers and shipped her and left her. So, yeah.
Wow.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah, like why? Why would you do that?
God. But actually, decades later, like we said, his name finally got out. His name was Joseph, and he was unfortunately 4 years old when he was found in the box, chopped up. I don't know how any human being could ever do that to a boy at such a young age, but there's people out there like that. So be careful even when you're walking. Always pay attention to your surroundings because it's very sad. But
get you some pepper spray.
Some pepper spray?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom actually wants me to walk around with pepper spray, but
I don't walk around
they wouldn't
with
allow
pepper
that.
Spray.
You know, they wouldn't allow that when we go through the metal detectors. They wouldn't allow that.
Just put it in your bag.
Yeah, but they don't detect it. No, they don't.
If they detect it, it's for your protection.
Well, other than that, just make sure you're protected. Make sure if you need to, bring like.
Get you one of those cuff thingies.
Cuff thingies.
Yeah, the knuckle cuffs or something like that.
Whoa, like. Really? That's heavy. So if someone like try to come at you, just bow right in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising. Not surprising at all. But getting back to the boy in the box,
honestly, if a serial killer comes to murder me, I'll murder them first.
Huh?
Self-defense.
All right. So after he was found, it was a very gruesome sight, as we said already. The police were trying to investigate, but was there any DNA at all at the scene?
I don't think there was DNA, but there was all of his DNA in the box.
Yeah, of course it was the boys,
yeah.
But not whoever killed. Like the person most likely had gloves on so that their DNA wouldn't stay. They probably cleaned up, And this, you never know. Even though this happened in the 50s, this person could still be alive walking around. They might be old, but they could still be walking around to this day.
How would they still be walking around? That has to be like someone that's older than 20. They can't be still...
Well, this happened in 1953. We don't know how old this person was.
It's the 21st century.
This happened in the... What years did it happen again? The one in the box?
I think the 1950s or 1953.
Yes, but we don't know how old this person was. We don't know. This person could have been a teenager. This person could have been 20,
No
30.
teenager's about to do that.
There was a story about a teenager who brought a kid to the woods and choked him. So anyone is capable of murder. Anyone. Even a kid. This story is about kids killing people.
There was a story lately that a kid brought a gun to school and shot a couple of people.
Like I said, anybody is capable of murder, no matter how old you are. It just depends how you grew up. And sometimes people keep all those dark skeletons in the closet, as they would say, and they just do mass murder. It's sad sometimes. But...
The thing that I don't get?
What?
I think it's like satisfying to their soul. Like they're dark, dark
Yeah, like
soul.
people are capable of killing babies and infants. Like you have to be pure evil. You have to have no conscience for that. 4 years old. Imagine that you're the mother of that child, and you find your 4-year-old son or daughter chopped up in a box. I would want redemption. I would want some answers. But
I would kill.
But the police, really?
Yeah, I would hunt for him and kill him.
It makes sense. It is your child.
Exactly.
But the thing is, what's sad is that the police never found anything, so it became a cold case. So to this day, hopefully that 4-year-old is resting in paradise.
These cases deserve like an open investigation.
They do, but some of them are cold because people probably forgotten about them.
Yeah, but the investigation should have went on for a long time. They could have found something.
That's true. But R.I.P. Joseph, who was born January 13th, 1953. We hope you're resting in peace with all the angels and your family, if they're, unfortunately dead. But it's just sad. And hopefully we don't hear about a case like this ever again.
Hopefully.
Hopefully not. It's just sad. Let's go on to the topic because I'm starting to feel a little sad.
That is our 2 topics.
I know. I just want to It's just very sad. But yes, thank you everyone for watching today's episode between the Zodiac Killer and the Boy in the Box. So both of them, even though one was about a kid and two were about, adults, they're both very sad because they're cold cases.
Yeah.
Still haven't been solved. Even though some evidence has popped up, it's been decades since these murders, unfortunately occurred. And these killers are very smart because they didn't leave any DNA. Left nothing for the police to find. And even the Zodiac Killer, like, he was very evil, like leaving codes for them to try to decipher.
That's the thing. They could have found out who's the Zodiac Killer by that code.
That's true. They have like advanced technology, but when you have cases that are decades old, sometimes you forget about them, which is sad.
Yeah, but well, actually, now that they have advanced technology, they can't find out who's the killer, because like he probably dead. That's one, and two, the paper's a little old, like a lot old.
Yeah, like
So
it's
a lot
like
of
newspapers.
Exactly.
And there's probably been like, you don't know what could have happened. All these things that happen, natural disasters, they could have been destroyed. We don't know what happens. That's why it's good now that we have advanced technology, because unfortunately, even though these two cases weren't solved, a lot of cold cases have been solved 20, 30 years later. But it's unfortunate, very sad. That's why we said trigger warning. So sorry if we made anyone feel uncomfortable and uneasy.
It's a bit rogue.
Yeah, it's a bit rogue, like all our episodes. So thank you for the people who do stick around though and watch our episodes. But yeah, if we have nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for watching today's episode of Midnight Mist. In next week's episode, we will be talking about, oh shoot, I always forget. Serial killers who were never caught. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. It's always
serial killers who were never caught.
Serial killers who were never caught. So
That's
basically,
cool.
this is why a difference from this episode. Because this episode we have the name, the Zodiac Killer, but this time we don't have names. We don't have nothing. Which is unfortunately very sad. But thank you guys for watching once again, and please tune into next week's episode. Goodbye, everyone.